Alright, hey guys, Quinn here, Tactical and Practical. Hope you're all doing well. Got here the Burris RT25 5 to 25 by 56 first focal plane scope. Try to keep this pretty brief, just walking you through what you get. Not much in the box. In this case, you don't get a sunshade or flip caps, and usually, at least with my XTRII, Burris included those. I got this scope to put on my 22. I'm thinking about NRL matches, 50-yard bench rest matches, and possibly PRS style competition shooting. So I needed something to go on that 22 that I could really get in there up close and personal. This is a 5 to 25 scope, first focal plane. It is kind of nice. The dial is kind of a short throw deal. You go 180 degrees and you are through the full magnification. So it doesn't take much to get where you want to be. Turrets are well made. There is like a target turret style on top, and then the windage is a little bit snugged in. They lock. To unlock them, pop the top and spin them. Pretty easy to spin, but they're easy to count. Here, I'll see if I can. And it has a zero stop. Lock it back down. Parallax on the side goes down to 25 yards, which is important if you want to do close-up target shooting. Parallax is a little stiff, but frankly, that's just as well. I'm probably going to set that parallax and then leave it where it is. This scope retails for around $800, but you can have them, you can get into them cheaper. For a first focal plane scope, it's an exceptional value. When you consider that to get into a loophole first focal plane scope, you're looking at 2x, probably at least 2x, right around there, to get into an FFP model. And this one you can get into it for, like I said, you know, maybe $600-700. You can find a reasonable deal. Now, I've looked through it. I really enjoy my XTR2. I will say that I don't think the glass quality on this is as good. It is, I think, a step down. It just doesn't quite pop with that brightness, but it's got the SCR2 Christmas tree reticle that has 20 mils marked in it, so you can hold for elevation and hold for wind if you choose to, and that reticle is also in the XTR2, which I really like. I do have a Veracity on the way for the hunting rifle. I will compare the two. My guess is the glass in the Veracity is probably slightly better than this as well. I would say that this is not probably as good as my VX3 HD, although it's close. I think maybe what you're paying for in that VX3 HD is you're getting a high glass quality. It does have a locking turret that you can dial up on top. It has the little button style, right? But it only goes up, in the case of my VX3 HD, it's a 2 to 7 scope. So you're getting significantly more magnification, you get a parallax, and you also get a significant amount of travel, and that comes at the expense of something, right? Everything's a trade-off, and I think in this case the expense may have been a little bit in the glass quality. In the travel, you get 65 MOA total travel, which is right around 20 mils, so that would be 10 up, 10 down, or 32.5 up, 32.5 down. If I were shooting my 243 with that, that would get me out to 1,000 yards, no problem. And I think for those PRS 22 matches, the longest shot they will ask you to take is 400 yards. You could just dial this to 300. It would be possible to get it to 400, but you would need to put a 20 MOA mount into this thing, which would free up 20 MOA in the scope, right? You take 65 divided by 2. You got 32.5 up, 32.5 down. Subtract 20 from the down and add it to the up. That gets you to 52.5, and you would have to dial to 60-ish, 65-ish MOA to get to 400 yards with the 22. So you would dial this up to say 25 or 30, and then you have 20 mils of holdover in the scope, and that would get you right where you need to be. So you can make the shot without having to max out your dial. So for me, this will do everything that I need to. I do have a Vortex PST Gen 2 5 to 25 by 50 coming. I'm going to compare that to this. It does cost a little bit more, but if there's a perceptible difference in the glass, I'll probably keep it. I think there may be. I have the Gen 2 1:6 on my AR, and it is just a pleasure to look through. It's one of the brightest. Like, it really pops with the brightness, and if that's the case between this and that, this will probably be going away. It does have the 56 millimeter objective instead of the 50. It does make for a big bell. I think this bell measures out at 60 or 64 mils, so you want to make sure that you have the correct rings to get you the clearance that you need off the barrel. This is well made. It's a good unit. It's a little bit over a foot long and it weighs just under 25 ounces. I have no trouble at all recommending this, particularly for the features that you get packed into the price point. It's kind of a sleeper, especially if you're thinking about getting into PRS or 22 bench rest. You want something that's FFP with high magnification, but you don't want to break the bank. This is a great place to go do it. I just may go a slightly different direction based on glass quality, and I can flex my budget a little bit to make that happen. So we'll see. I'll get that Vortex, and then I'll do the comparison side to side, and we'll talk you through what I think the differences are. Maybe run them against the color chart or something, so stay tuned. That's it. This is the Burris RT25 5-25 magnification. First focal plane scope, retails around $800. You can get them cheaper, and it is a great place to start. I do think, though, this is made in China, I believe, and a lot of the, once you go up one tier, if this gives you any indication as to the glass quality, when you go up one tier, like XTRII, Veracity scopes, they're all made in the Philippines, and I think the XTRII used to be made in the United States. It just got supplanted when the XTR3 came out. That took over U.S. production facilities, and then they shipped the XTR2 over to the Philippines. A lot of good scopes are coming out of there. So this particular model is made in China, but it does go through Greeley, gets QA QC'd, and I like it. It's trim, it's a good-looking scope, it's ergonomically correct, it's well thought out. I'm just not quite sure if the glass is where I want it to be for my intended use. That's it for now. You guys have a great day. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.